Welcome. Let's take a look at our top story this hour. Iran has struck back against the United States. Just hours before Qassem Soleimani's burial ceremony, Iranian missiles struck 2 military bases in Iraq, both of which were housing American troops deployed in the country. In the early hours of the morning, Iran launched several ballistic missiles at twin targets in Iraq, the Erbil military base in northern Iraq and the Al-Assad base in central Iraq were targeted. Now, these bases have a larger number of Iraqi troops than American troops, and as of now, we have not heard reports of any U.S. casualties. 10 missiles targeted the Al-Assad base, while one of them hit Erbil. Now, 4 ballistic missiles are being said to have failed. The base at Al-Assad is quite important for the U.S. It is the second largest in Iraq and home to 1,500 U.S. troops. The base has hosted both President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. Back in 2015, ISIS attacked the base, only to be repelled by Iraqi forces. Erbil is located in the Kurdistan province. It's 370 kilometers from the capital of Baghdad. Interestingly, the Erbil base hosts the Delta commandos, who took part in the mission that led to the death of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Iran's weapon of choice in striking U.S. was the Fateh 100 missiles. Tested in 2002, the Fateh is surface-to-surface missile that is produced by Iran's state-owned aerospace company. The latest version of the Fateh 110 missile has a strike range of close to 300 kilometers and it can carry a payload of 650 kilograms. Immediately after the strike, the U.S. top administration went into a huddle. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Pentagon Chief Mark Esper arrived at the White House to brief the president and take stock of the situation. Now, Iran's Revolutionary Guards have warned the U.S. against retaliating to the strike. The Iranian Guards have said that the U.S. bases are well within their strike capability. A senior official in Ayatollah Khomeini's office said that this airstrike was the weakest of all options available to Iran. This, of course, begs the question, what is the strongest response scenario that Iran has planned? Meanwhile, celebrations have broken out on the streets of Tehran to celebrate the airstrike on U.S. troops in Iraq. They were seen waving Iranian flags and pictures of Soleimani. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned of a resounding blow if Iran attacks Israel. Netanyahu also said that Trump should be congratulated for acting swiftly, boldly and resolutely over Soleimani. The U.S. is scrambling to respond to Iran's aggression. In Baghdad, military jets could be heard flying over the airspace. WION correspondent Nina Maria Potts joins us live from Washington, D.C. for more on this. Good evening to you. Thanks for being with us. President Trump has been unusually quiet, saying all is good, and we are still waiting for an official statement. What can we make of this?
Well, President Trump is expected to give either a statement or a briefing this morning. We were expecting him to speak last night after the attack by Iran on these bases hosting U.S. troops. I think the focus this morning in Washington is twofold. One is express concern and shock amid growing speculation over the conditions in which this Ukrainian Boeing 737 crashed, with the Iranian authorities refusing to cooperate either with Boeing or the U.S., and big question marks over President Trump's short-term and long-term strategy, with Democrats on Capitol Hill in the U.S. Congress moving very swiftly to try and introduce legislation, perhaps even as early as Thursday, to limit President Trump's war powers, and question marks over what Iran might do next, seeing as Iran's supreme leader has said that it was a slap in the face, but not enough, referring to these missile strikes.
Now, if these claims are to be believed that there were, in fact, no U.S. casualties in this counterstrike, then how effective would Iran consider this revenge strike?
Well, so far the message that is coming from different parts of the Iranian government, we're hearing from the supreme leader that it was not enough. However, we've heard from Iran's foreign minister that Iran might decide to leave it there. I think there is a degree of alarm in Washington that President Trump's unilateral actions have led Washington and the U.S. to a point beyond which there may be no return, and experts saying that it's really in no one's interest. Iran certainly can't afford a war against the U.S., and it's in no one's interest not to find an off-ramp for both parties to step down. I mean, one big result for President Trump, much to the anger and outrage of Democrats on the Hill, is that it has completely distracted from the impeachment process, leaving Congress and lawmakers, certainly on the Democrat side, scrambling for an effective response and no clear pathway to move forward with impeachment, while the focus is on U.S. relations with Iran.